Okay guys, and welcome back to the 12th episode of my Let's Play. So today we're going to do something a little different. I'm on a quest. I need to find pretty much, I need slimes. So I want to start making sticky pistons and with the 1.8 update coming, I want to, have a bunch of slimes slime balls to make, everything you can with those. So I'm on the quest to find a swamp biome, and actually it doesn't look like I'm doing so good so far. So I'm not going to cut too much during this, just because I'm going to talk a lot during it, just because stuff I've been wondering about. It has nothing to do with anything on YouTube or anything. It, just something that always piqued my interest to think about this. And I'm actually going to make a boat really quick. And I wanted to know if anybody thought the same. So pretty much what I really think about is, is right really right? Like, what do I mean by that, you may ask, is why is something correct and why is something incorrect? Now there's obviously good examples. Well, if you look at mathematically, you can be like, okay, well, 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 3. It equals 2. So 2 is correct, 3 is incorrect. That's obvious. That makes sense. That's clear to pretty much anybody that knows a tiny bit about math. What I'm more talking about is like spelling and grammar and punctuation and that. And these things I still have trouble with them. I'm not a very good speller. I'm pretty good with punctuation and grammar, but spelling isn't really a strong suit of mine. And I always make this argument that, I'm pretty sure we already found that, but I'm going to stop it anyway. Why does a word have to be spelled correctly if you understand the meaning that the person is passing on? Now, obviously, it is much easier to understand the meaning that if something is spelled correctly. It makes sense. So I guess this isn't the greatest example of what I was talking about, but I'll still I'll continue with my wow. Oh, I don't think we had. No, I think this is the third one. Unless I filled it in. Ooh, it's a little dark. There we go. And what I really mean about this is, ooh, that's a nice one. That's alright, I guess. That'd be better if I was playing in, like, PvP or something. Bones, I don't want zombie flesh. Gold, always could use gold, and more gold. I was hoping for some diamonds. Not gonna lie. Anyway, back to what I was saying, is if somebody can understand you, and, like, clearly understand you without a doubt, then why does it matter if something's spelled correctly? It's just, now, obviously, there's the fact that, okay, well, it's just more proper to do that way. Well, why does it matter to be more proper? Like, if you're not writing, like, how can I explain it? If you're not writing, I keep on picking these up because I keep on pressing the wrong button. You know what? Just forget about that feature. Anyway, if you're not writing like a letter to the president or something, somebody you have to impress, then why does it matter? Like, why does it matter to if, in like, ooh, that quick. Do I want to make a bed? Do I have my house location? Nether noise. I have a piece of paper here I'm just looking at. I do not have my location of home. Okay. Ooh. Oh, I was like, what is that? Sorry, that's my phone. I thought I muted it, but I guess I didn't. I'm gonna do that right now. Sweet, another village. This is such a lucky, world. Like, I did not do any well, you guys seen it. I didn't even know my seed. Okay, I gotta be careful here. I don't want these guys to die. I really like playing around with villages. So anyway, you know what? I picked a bad thing to use my example on, and that's spelling. Because someone could always argue that you need to learn how to spell correctly. So when talking to someone, you need to put oh, why aren't you breaking down that door? Oh wow! You should have broken down that door in a second. He wasn't even trying. This is a huge village, and it doesn't appear to have a blacksmith. I'll come back for those. Ooh, I'm gonna get food. I'm good. So I'll admit, my first example wasn't too great, but pretty much what I was thinking of when I was originally thinking of this was society. And why are things, like, why do we have a government? Why do we listen to the government, right? I'm not saying I don't like the government. I'm not saying I don't want to listen to it. It just, I'm very intrigued of how, like, because if you talk to some people, like, there are a lot of people out there that don't really like the government, but we still listen to them. This is a really nice area. Like, look at that. That's something you'd see off Lion King. Like, if you talk to some people, they hate the government. They think the government's idiots. No one ever has a nice thing to say about the government. And, well, I don't really mind. I don't really pay any attention to it. I'm not really into the government. But, it's just something that always fascinated me. Like, okay, well, why do we listen to them? And I thought it was simply because, well, we want the benefits of it. But, as I've gotten older and, like, I begin to think more, it's just like, the way I've been thinking is, every authority person that I ever listened to, my parents, my teachers growing up, like, all of those, they're just people. Like, there's nothing really special about them. But we give them authority because we want something out of them. So, that's the reason I believe that we, listen to the government and such. But, like, why, like, this brings me back, it's like, okay, but why is that the right thing to do? Oh, I hate skeletons. I have a bow too. Oh! That could have been bad. I forget where I was going with this. I swear, I had a point. Like, the only reason the government can do what they do, like, I know it's like they help a lot, is because we listen to them. If everybody just stopped listening to them, they would have no power. And that would completely eliminate any purpose for a government. It would completely eliminate it, like, anything. Like, if you just said, if everybody in, I don't know, let's say, I live in Canada, so let's say, if everybody in Canada just stopped listening to, like, the government, we wouldn't have a government. We would just stop having governments. You're just like, okay, no, everybody does its own thing. If you don't want to, then that's too bad for you, because the majority. So that, I guess that's what I was getting at, is we, as people, find comfort into doing what the majority does. If it's, like, I guess the best way I can think of it is mob mentality. And mob mentality, I know you're probably thinking, oh, this isn't really a mob. Well, that's pretty much what mob mentality is. It's, you're doing what the majority of the people are doing, only because the majority of the people are doing it. And when you're talking about government, you know, most of the times, majority of the people don't really know it, but don't really say it, but secretly think the government is a good idea. And that's why we have one. The majority of the people did not. Is that another village? I'm gonna kill this Enderman. Almost. Oh my! Don't kill me. I thought there was a jungle. That would have been a nice find. So yeah, it's not. If we as people just decided one day, like, we're not going to listen to the government would cease to exist. And then we would, and this is like the same thing with multiple things. If we just decided, if you can understand someone perfectly, then, but they didn't use the proper spelling, then it wouldn't matter. And like a good example, well, not a good example of this. Actually, yeah, a pretty good example of this is I don't know. I don't consider it a word. I can still consider it slang, but ain't. For any of you, ain't wasn't a real word. It depends on the definition of what you believe a real word is. If you simply believe that it's whatever is in the dictionary, then ain't has become a word for you. If it's something else, then ain't is instead of obsidian. Nice. Obsidian's always a pain to get. Then ain't is not a real word for you. So, like I was saying, he's indoors. If the people, like being everybody, just decide something and use it enough, then it becomes. And that's how, like, civilizations have formed, I believe. Is people like, okay, I want to live here with a group and be protected, and then that's how cities were formed, that's how governments were formed. And it's just, like, why, like, that brings me to my point. It's like, if we can simply say something was incorrect to say, such as the word ain't a while ago, but then as more and more people used it, it has magically turned into somewhat of a correct thing to say. Because I believe if you go into the new Microsoft Word and you type ain't, it still doesn't come up. It comes up as a correct spelling, I'm pretty sure. I haven't done it myself, but I think it has. Which is kind of cool. You know, like something that we were told that's incorrect, that's a bad way to talk, has became like not bad, not incorrect, correct. So that just makes me think, well, what else can be correct? What else is something incorrect that we can, if more people do it, then correct? And with texting and Facebook and like Twitter being such a popular thing, and with the my generation and I don't know, maybe the generation of people who are watching this, just decide not to, because I know my generation, we're lazy. We don't spell out full words. If we can use a short version of a word, we will. I do it all the time, just because I am a lazy person. And it fascinates me how things go from incorrect to correct. Because for those who don't know, I'm strictly a science person. I like sciences because I like facts. Facts don't change. The way we view things change, but facts don't change. If I dropped, for example, like a quarter, that's a quarter sitting on my desk. If I dropped a quarter, it would fall. The only reason it wouldn't fall is if the circumstances of me dropping it changed. Now, if we magically understood how gravity works to a T, then that would change how we understood it and how we looked at it, but it wouldn't change the fact that under the same circumstances, that quarter would fall. And that's why that's why I like science, because it doesn't change, where other things do. Politics changes all the time. I hate politics. Looks like we're coming to the end of the continent here. And such. But, like, the English language obviously changed. If you look back in time and you see, I thought those were jungle trees. We kind of do. I think these have jungle tree leaves. If you look back in time, we're running out of food. No, we got plenty. If you look back in time and look at the original English language, you would understand it's not Shakespearean language. That's not how the original people who spoke English talk. That's not how it is. It's let me go to that desert. The way people, you know what? I did something really stupid here. I need to top in this ocean. The way normal people, like the way people talked in like the original English, was very similar to. It wasn't as flowy as we now. It's much more of like a Dutchish, not Dutch, but what's that called? Polish, kind of like Netherlands type of language. Because what would happen was, this is why English is so close to French, is because we had our own community, and then the French came along, and they were rich, and the poor spoke this old English I was just talking about. And I might want to cut here. I need to check how long this video is. I've been talking for a while, so I'll be right back. Hey guys, so we've been recording for about 17 minutes, and so I decided to go and look for one off on my own. But I came across this. A doggy. Yes. Oh, there's more around here. I'm gonna see if I can't get two. I don't care about it anymore. Yes, right here. Come on. Coming! I love dogs in real life. Nice. Okay. Let's go, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna cut and I'll resume what we were talking about when we, never mind, found one. So, I guess I can just continue talking. So I can't really remember what I was saying. So I'm just gonna wrap up what my point was, and that was that we say things alright. I feel we say them because the majority of the people say them. And now this obviously doesn't include facts or not, but the majority of the people say things alright. So we say things alright. And I just find that so kind of interesting that we, like, so many people, now obviously this isn't with everything, else we would have one religion by now, not a million, but we can, socially, we can change something's belief. By that I mean, like, I can't think of any non-murdering examples. Like, say one day we, as as the world, accept something that we deny now. Like, let's go for the extremists and say murdering is now okay if the person angers you. Then we look back and we see that as a nation before us, we believe that murdering was not okay. I'd be curious to see what, like, how, especially with such an extreme difference, how the two times, like our time in the future where the murder would be okay, how they would look back on us, and would they think that we were stupid? Would we maybe a much less peaceful people? Anyway, I'm going to make a portal, and then I'm going to head home. Because I do not have my coordinates written down on paper, but I do have my nether coordinates. And I can probably just multiply those by 8, but this would be faster. Anyway, so that concludes this episode. We have gotten here. I will probably come back here off camera multiple times and just farm some slimes. But until then, I'd like to hear you guys' point of views. Do you think I'm completely full of shit? Do you see where I'm coming from? Do you have absolutely no idea where I'm coming from? Like, what? So if you can, just leave a comment, and I'd like to see what other people think. Anyway, until then, I hope everybody has a good day, and I will see you guys in my next episode. Bye!